Gather round, everyone, and hear again the tale of Drakfu. Welcome back, everybody, and happy Monday. So, last week, we finished up the second-to-last zone in Pandaria. We finished up Townlong Steppes, and now it's time for us to step into literal enemy territory as we take on the Dread Wastes, aka the realm of the Mantid. So, we're going to go ahead and step in there. But first, before we do that, I want to make a couple of things kind of clear. So, you can see the Dread Waste achievement right here. You can see that the chapters are not that long. Let me just bring it up here. And it's because this is an endgame zone. I'm going to tell you it's a pretty long zone. And we're going to make our way through it as best as we can, but with one thing in mind. Since this is an endgame zone, it's tied more into endgame progression. I don't know necessarily if Blizzard has fixed this yet, but a lot of the things that we could do there are going to be tied to a specific rep that we're going to be getting called the Klaxxi. And if I actually can't get additional quests, that's going to be a problem, since I can't go further into the storyline. And I believe you actually have to be either revered or exalted with the Klaxxi before you get the last quests to finish up the zone. I'm hoping that's not the case, or at least that they have upped the amount of rep gains that you're going to get in Dread Wastes, but I'm just warning people in advance. This might happen. In that case, I don't know necessarily what to tell you guys, aside from I will get as much done as I can, but we might have to eventually kind of call it if I can't get enough done, or you guys might have to wait a couple of weeks while I boost my rep with the Klaxxi, and then I can record another part for you. The other thing, too, is, since it is an endgame zone, I know a lot of you guys have complained, but Pandaria was literally built to be ran on your ground mounts, except Dread Wastes. Dread Wastes is already working under the assumption, Townlong to some extent does too, that you have flying at that point. And so at that point, the zone works under flying. Areas that you can go into are few and far between. Obviously, you're in enemy territory, so you know what that means, everybody. We're going to talk to Skydancer Shun and get the Wisdom of the Four Winds, which is going to give us basically Pandaria flying. So we're going to do that. And now we can officially fly in Pandaria. Specifically, we can fly to the Dread Wastes, which is going to help things so much out here. So let's go ahead and head over to our first quests in there, which we actually got in Kunlai Summit, called Better Dead Than Dread. And it's basically the lead-in to working on the Klaxxi rep. Because basically, as soon as you hit about, I want to say 88... around the time when you would get this, you want to start up the Klaxxi rep back in the day. It took forever to be able to do that. I think you could even start up the Golden Lotus dailies around that time too, and that took a long time as well. Now, normally I would take a flight path here, but I know I have the flight point, but I want to show this off. So as you can see, like, this is where the Veil was damaged. This is the pure Veil. This is what it looked like before that, and the problems that they were dealing with beforehand, which is that gate right there is the gate we found in Townlong Steppes. That's the one that's being attacked right now by the Mantid to try and get into the Veil. We're going to be stepping into the Dread Wastes right here, and as you can see, it is Mantid territory up and down. There are also going to be some other threats, but we're not too worried about them. But now we are here, we can go ahead and turn in our quest to Bowmistress Lee and start up the Dread Wastes.
Is constant.
The Shadowpan have held this wall for centuries, but I won't turn down help from outsiders for the sake of pride. A volunteer for Dread Wastes duty? I think you might be the first. Pleased to meet you. Alright, so we have two quests. Falling Down. It's bad enough to try to hold off the Mantid, but now we've got spiders swarming up from the ruins below. One of my best marksmen caught a blast of webbing around his leg and got pulled straight down. We think he's alive, but I don't have the manpower to send anyone in after him. We've stretched thin up here. If you want to help, use the rope behind me to drop down into the ruins. You're not afraid of heights, are you? How about spiders?
Be strong.
Well, it's kind of That's not going to help us anymore. And the next quest is, nope. We're holding, but just barely. Anything you can do to stem the tide of dread spinners coming up the wall should be a big help. And you can actually see the spiders off in the corner right there. Feel like tearing open spider eggs one at a time by hand? I didn't think so. Take one of our dragon guns and light it up down there. I want to hear those puppies pop.
Stay vigilant.
Okay, so all you got to do is use this Shadowpan rope, and we are officially stepping into the Dread Wastes, into the Terrace of Gurthan. Now, I say that this is Mantid territory, but it still holds true to a lot of the stuff we've seen in Pandaria. There are Mogu ruins here. It's just that this is the area that they were specifically pulled out, or that the Mantid were pushed back to by the Shadowpan, and then the Serpent Spine was built to keep them out. And every 1,000 years or so, the Mantid will launch an attack on the wall. We don't necessarily know why every 1,000 years, but it's pretty safe to say that there's a reason for it. But I'm just going to go ahead and let people look out here. So one thing that you can obviously tell, if you remember from Town Long Steps on Friday, we were in search of the Shah of Hatred. We found him, we killed him, but then we found out that Nizao Temple is the guardian of the Shah of Fear. And another thing that you will see in the Dread Wastes is Shah corruption everywhere. Basically saying the Shah of Fear got brought back to the Dread Wastes and back to the leadership of the Mantid. So yeah, this is a Shah-corrupted land. This is a Mantid-infested land. This is not a good place to be. This is Ice Crown Glacier, roughly. This is the heart of enemy territory. Alright, let's continue to go on down here and see if we can kill off. So we need to get some Dread Spinner eggs, but here is Marksman Lan. He's the guy we needed to find.
Pandaria conceives a great
Oh, they
darkness.
sent someone after me. Thank the winds.
So go ahead and turn this in.
The fall wasn't that bad, actually. I've always had a knack for soft landings. That and I landed on a pile of spider corpses probably helped too.
The wall
Yeah, probably.
must stand.
Okay, so you did that, and
We
unfortunately,
are the watchers on the
he
wall.
will not give us
Beware
additional
the
quests
western
until we're
wind.
done with these spiders. So let's go ahead and start taking care of them with the first question mark of the day. Go! Okay, so now that we've gotten all of these spider issues taken care of, let's go ahead and turn in the quest with Marksman Lan and see what else we can do to help him out.
We are the sword in the shadows.
And that's a little broken.
Nice work with that dragon gun. I did what I could down here, but arrows are only so useful against these things.
Okay, so now we can get 437 gear, which is really supposed to prepare you for endgame. Let's go ahead and do that with the Sapphire Gloves and Psycho Mantid. That's a Metal Gear joke right there. You aren't going to believe what I saw. Two Mantid fighting each other, whipping some serious magic back and forth. One of them didn't look like any Mantid I've ever seen. Completely different color and dress to him, like some kind of oracle or something. The other one was a total psycho, splashing Shah energy all around like it was a keg of Storm Stout Special. Look, I gotta get back to my post, but those two are still fighting in the cave behind me, and I have a feeling it's a big deal. Check it out.
We
Sure.
serve so
We will take care of that. We need to take care of Adjunct Krizot. And again, I'm probably going to murder these names, so I'm just going to warn people in advance. Because the Mantid are all, very, very solid vowels and pronunciations, so if I'm not even giving you guys that. So, yeah, basically it was this cave in here. Let's go ahead and head in here. Oh, and look at this. We have Klaxxi.
The Klaxxi have betrayed Her Majesty. Your corpse will be strung from the palace walls for this. I cannot carry out her will. We shall crumble this wall and devour the lands beyond. It is the Empress who has betrayed our people. Monk, approach me.
So, we've taken care of this adjunct who is actually using Shah energy. So, again, confirmation that the Shah fear might be here. This Mantid is severely wounded. He barely manages to choke forth his words between wheezing gasps for breath.
Hold, Blood Elf. We are not your enemy.
And I didn't even notice that. Yeah, again, this design looks really cool to me.
We are not your enemy.
Okay, so Psycho Mantid. Preserved in Amber. Let's take a swig, because the Mantid voice is probably going to be a little weird, too.
Take this.
The dying Mantid struggles to outstretch his arm. In his mangled grasp rests a metal fork with two long, thin prongs and an ornately jeweled handle.
Awaken the Wind Reaver. It is the only way to end the swarm.
Okay, so we need to use the Klaxxi tuning fork. Let's go ahead and bring this. So you need to use the Klaxxi tuning fork on the ancient amber chunk in the Terrace of Gurthon. So let's go ahead and do that. And this is basically what starts you up with the Klaxxi. Now it looks... Because here's the thing. You start up with the Klaxxi as hated because it's Mantid and you're not Mantid. But then we actually got to neutral a little bit quicker than I thought. I don't know if that means we're already at increased rep gains. We'll have to find that out as we go in the zone. Let's go ahead and open up this ancient amber chunk. And
I have returned.
So Kilrook the Wind Reaver.
The Klaxxi call to me.
Alright, so we have two quests from him. Wakening Sickness. Okay, what does that mean? Oh, wait, he actually had something else to say, too.
My head swims. I am not myself yet.
So, Wakening Sickness.
You will forgive my current state. I have slept for many years. A Klaxxiva should have been here to attend my awakening with Kaipari sap, but you will have to do. I sense the buzzing of sap flies to the south. They gorge on the nourishing sap I need. Bring them to me.
Okay, so you need to bring 100 sapfly bits, and then Ancient Vengeance.
I can hear them howling in rage. The spirits of the Gurthani Mogu I slayed so long ago. They wander this ruined terrace, seeking vengeance. If they find me in this state, I will not have the strength to fend them off, draw their attention, and put them down. Finish what I started, and I will tell you who I am.
It's kind of hard to do. Oh, and look at that. Already from there, I think, yeah, they may have increased the rep for the Klaxxi, so people can get through it quicker. But, so we need to take care of some vengeful Gurthani spirits, as well as get some sapfly bits to help this guy out. We don't know necessarily why we're helping him, but we'll find out in a second. Let's go ahead and get that going with a questing break. Go! Okay, so we've got the sapfly bits. We've taken care of some of these vengeful spirits. Let's talk to Kilrook again and see what the heck is going on. So...
Without nourishment, I will die where I stand.
Here's some sapfly bits for you.
This will do.
Okay, Ancient Vengeance.
We have a common enemy in the Mogu, and perhaps others. We shall see.
Alright, the Klaxxi Council.
I must report to the Klaxxi. They would not have woken me unless the situation were dire. You have not been entirely useless. For that, I will spare your life. The council may even find a use for you.
Okay, so...
If you are so curious about the Mantid, I will tell you more on the way to Klaxxi. Otherwise, leave me to my work.
So, take me to Klaxxi. And I believe this is actually going to give us some
I am
dialogue, so...
Kilrook, a warrior from an era long past. In my time, this was a Mogu stronghold. It was my honor to paint the walls with their blood. For my deeds, I was named a paragon. A hero to be preserved in amber for a time when the Empire would need correcting.
So as you can see, there's a lot of corruption.
Reckoner, what power is this that burns our land and corrupts our trees?
And there's actually the palace of the Mantid, the chamber, or the clutches of Shexier.
The palace. This is not our way. I see why the Klaxxi have been forced to act. They are a council of our wisest cultural leaders. They serve to check the power of the Empress. Should the Empress ever fall to corruption or endanger our civilization, the Klaxxi are sworn to unseat her. There are others like me, paragons of each era, frozen in time and buried safely beyond the whispers of the Empress. We answer only to the Council. And we rest only when their will is done.
Okay, so that kind of explains what the Klaxxi are. When the Empress or when the Mantid leadership is failing its overall society, the Klaxxi will then step in and correct the problem. And only a few Mantid, the strongest amongst them, the most cultural, are actually chosen as Klaxxi paragons, much less Klaxxi within there. You can already see we have a couple of Klaxxi, but Kilrook is the first of many paragons that we actually will unlock. And then regret later, because eventually they will become, spoiler alert, they'll become a raid boss. So let's go ahead and grab the flight path that we now have in the Dread Waste. This is pretty much one of maybe a few more you will get in the Dread Waste, because again, this is enemy territory, but with the addition of the Shah corruption, the Klaxxi have decided, no, this is not our way, this is not what we do. We are going to fight back against the corruption, and you are going to help us do it. So, as you guys can kind of tell, the Mantid voice is kind of hard to do. I will do it as much as I can, but I might have to switch back to my normal voice just to finish the dialogue out.
Swift. This is a sacred meeting place for the Klaxxi. It would be wise of you to let me do the talking.
Yes, it probably would. So let's go ahead and grab this.
Cycle will be
Kilrook. So,
You have awakened. What of Klaxxi Vatic? And what is this filth you've brought to our sanctuary? The Klaxxi Va you sent has fallen to an adjunct of Her Majesty. This filth defeated the adjunct and saw to my awakening. We do not need help from the lesser races. Dispose of it. Right away, Klaxxi Va. No. The Awakener may prove useful, one way or another. Is better for the swarm, perhaps?
it's kind of creepy having these guys talk about us while we're standing right here. Obviously, they're not happy that an outsider has freed one of their paragons and immediately ordered Kilrook to kill us, and he was going to do it. But thankfully, this guy, Klaxxi Vor, stepped in and said, "You know what? Maybe our purposes align, at least for now." And so at least that works out. Now you'll notice we got a chapter right there, so that's kind of weird, right? The reason that we did is, I don't know if we can actually show you guys this, but let me see if you can actually. The first paragons. No, it actually won't show you. I believe there. Yeah, here we go. So amber is the color of my energy. This is another thing another achievement that you would get. And actually, I'm going to go ahead and track this one too, so you guys can keep track of it. So these are all of the. You will unlock all of these paragons as you quest in the Dread Wastes, and that eventually will give us the achievement, the first paragons. So at that point, once we get all of these guys, that's how you know we're near the end, is when we have all of these guys unlocked. And eventually, these guys would give you dailies that would increase the Klaxxi rep. Again, if we have the rep wall, then I'm going to have to do their dailies to try and unlock the next portion of that. But let's go ahead and we have a bunch of quests to now take on. First of all, one from Amber Smith. What is it? Amber Smith Zick.
You have something of value.
What makes you think I would sell to you, outsider?
So Amber Arms.
You, filth! You work for me now. The amber blades of the Shakzir Blade Sworn are the finest weapons in the Empire. If you are not impaled upon them immediately after leaving here, bring me as many of the blades as you can carry. I want to make sure we have weapons in reserve should we need them.
Wow, that voice is really hard to do. It really kind of rakes on you. We're going to make that work as best as we can, so we need to get some amber blades, but we also need to talk to Korik. So, Dead Zone. A Klaxxiba whispers to the tower. It carries their whisper far, to other towers, to Mantid, to Paradons. The whisper bounces back, and the Klaxxi hear it. This way they see all. A tower near the palace is quiet. This will not do. It must sing for the Klaxxi. It is my job to fix the tower, but if you serve the Klaxxi, you should serve me well. You fix the tower, and I will wait here. So he wants us to use the Klaxxi Resonating Crystal on the inactive Sonic Relay at the Heart of Fear, which is the palace. So spoiler alert, the palace in the center that we actually saw, that is actually a raid that you would eventually do called the Heart of Fear. It's where Grand Empress Shakzir is, and spoiler alert, or not spoiler alert, but in case you hadn't figured it out, if the Shah of Fear got taken to any Mantid leadership, it was probably the Empress, since, you know, as you're kind of seeing right here, the hive mind is very much how the Klaxxi operate, as well as the rest of the Mantid. So it's fairly safe to say the Shah of Fear is in that palace. I'm gonna down this water so fast trying to do these voices, it's gonna be hard.
Speak, Wickener.
Okay, so Kilrook already has 2 additional quests for it.
I trust in the will of the Klaxxi. They know what is best for our people.
The Dread Clutches.
The Imperial Clutches have become an abomination. Clutch Keepers rush the development of a new Swarmborn, saturating them in this vile Shah energy before sending them away to the wall. The Klaxxi wish to stem the tide of Swarmborn production in these dread clutches. Put the Keepers to death.
Show no mercy.
Okay, not fit to swarm.
Newly hatched Mantid have only 2 instincts: kill and feed. They turn on one another, devouring the weak and leaving the strongest to mature. Those hatched during a swarm, the Swarmborn, are turned loose on our enemies instead. The Swarmborn in the clutches of Shakzir have been tainted. They are born into shadows and nightmares, driven by terror, not hunger.
Wow, it hurts. It really does.
They are not fit to swarm. They must be purged.
Leave me now.
Okay, so actually the coolest part is all of this stuff can be done pretty close to where we need to put the Sonic Relay, and Kilrook has actually offered to fly us there. So let's go ahead and do that. Please fly me to the clutches of Shakzir. And I would advise that you take this as much as you can, because eventually, sometimes these guys will leak a little bit of Klaxxi lore while they're dropping you off, kind of thing. So he's already said, I'll drop you near the tower, do not get used to this. Because Kilrook wouldn't do it that often, but a couple of other daily providers will, and occasionally they do leak additional lore, and it's pretty cool to learn a little bit more. Because again, we're working with the Mantid. You never thought we'd actually be doing that, but it makes sense why we are. They are trying to correct the problems that the Mantid have created for themselves. Let's see, and we actually just barely hit friendly. Maybe we won't have issues. Well, we'll have to take a look at it. The tower is just there. I will cover you from the sky. Be quick. All right, so let's go ahead and get things started with a quick questing break. Go! Okay, so I'm interrupting the questing break right now because we actually do have this Shaw-haunted crystal right here. What is this? A source of terrifying power. The Clutch Keepers seem to be using these blinding white crystals as magical foci. Peering inside, you see thick tendrils of black smoke swirling in the center. One of the workers at Klaxxi may know more about this material and why it is so abundant in the wastes. We have that. Let's go ahead and resume the questing break to finish it up. Go! Alright, so we have done all of the tasks that the Klaxxi have set foot on us, but we did get this quest completed early on for the Dead Zone. As the crystal buzzes to life, a harsh, Mantid voice permeates your mind. In her clutch, the crystals sing to the Klaxxi. They sense a paragon in the clutch, east of the tower. Clutch keepers are trying to pollute this one. The Klaxxi will not permit this. Go and find the paragon, place your hands on this chamber. The Klaxxi will channel their whispers through you to break him free. Protect him if you can. I'm doing this as if they were permeating my mind, so it would actually sound like how I think I would sound. So let's go ahead and take care of this one. This will give us yet another paragon, which is yet another daily quest giver that you can do. Oh, and actually, dang it, it was right in here, so now I gotta clear that out again. Okay, so here is the other ancient amber chunk. Let's go ahead and use it. And this gives us Malik the Unscathed. Hold off the swarm while Malik the Unscathed awakens. So, this is gonna be a wave encounter. Not too hard. All you gotta do is just hold off the waves for the moment, and then that'll take care of that. So I think I'm saying that right. Malik the Unscathed is how you say it. Oh no! Oh, also I forgot to mention this too. So you actually can get buffs within. I'll show this in a second, but as soon as we get the quest done. Come on, there we go. Okay, next wave. Let's see if Malik is ready to go. Again, Mantid designs are awesome. I really do like them. What's really sad is, like, a lot of the buggy designs, even though, like, I'm not necessarily, like, into entomology at all, but the bug designs for, like, the Nerubians and Mantid are amazing to me.
I heed the call of the Klaxxi.
Okay, so we've gotten Malik out, so let's go ahead and head back to Klaxxi. And, actually, before we do that, let me explain this buff, actually. So, while you are in the Dread Wastes, you can actually pick to have enhancements given to you by the Klaxxi. Now, this is only available to you given the paragons that you have unlocked. So, at this point, I mean, technically we unlocked Malik, but up until that point, we had Kilrook. So, granted by Kilrook, the Windweaver, he gives us a buff called Angel of Death. When you gather at least 2 enemies within 10 yards, Kilrook will assist with Reeve. So, he'll come in, he'll just nuke the area and do a ton of damage to it. This cannot occur more than once every 60 seconds, so you have to plan it out in advance. But yeah, he does Reeve. Kilrook cleaves nearby enemies, dealing so much damage instantly and causing them to bleed for an additional bit of damage. And each one of them gives specific buffs that you can utilize, and you can ask for them to change them up as we go along. We'll even check them out just so you can see what they are. But as you can see, that's a really awesome ability, and I'm glad that buffs like this eventually came back. I don't think they came back in Warlords, but in Legion, they are back. So, like, when you're in specific areas and you've got an exalted reputation, you eventually can get additional support from the factions you worked on in that zone. So I love the fact that came back. Let's go ahead and turn these quests in, though. So we have the Ambersmith first. So I know that this is not usually what I do. Like, I'm usually the guy who exercises voice stuff, but oh man, that Mantid voice, we're gonna save for like major portions of this area, because everything that you talk to, aside from a few areas here and there, is Mantid. And so I'm like sitting here dreading, oh man, I gotta do this voice the entire time. It's not gonna work. So I will do it as much as I can. I'll probably just keep it to the Paragons, though. just so that you guys have that lore. So, Amber Arms, what makes you think I will sell to you, outsider? The Blade Sworn carry their swords with pride. I want them on my weapon racks. I mean, if I had tea right here, you know, it'd still be a difficult time. If all goes as planned, the Klaxxi will stop the Empress without your help. Still, it is my role to be prepared. So we actually can get additional boots here. Oh, and we're going to go ahead and use those. By the way, did I flub on those gloves earlier?
Preserve the cycle.
Let's go ahead and put this on. And also this one. Where are the gloves earlier that I got? Here we are. Yeah, I got intellect gloves. Dang it. I gotta pay more attention to that.
Buy, sell.
Okay, a source of terrifying power. Do you have any idea what it is? It's amber. But it is polluted with fear. I would not expect an outsider like you to understand the consequences of this. So basically, it's an amber chunk infused with the power of fear. Probably from the Shah fear. Concentrated fear. Amber is powerful. It brings life. This dread amber you brought me has been twisted. It is concentrated fear. The Vorthik know this well. Their Kaipari have been completely engulfed by Shah, and they use the dread amber to quicken their own Swarmborn. Bring me the crystals used by the Vorthik fear shapers in their rituals. The Klaxxi will study them and decide on a protocol for disposal. Okay, so we need to get some dread amber foci. And now we also have Malik the Unscathed, as well as Kilrook the Windreaver. We'll turn in with Kilrook first. So the dread clutches.
A few less traitors for us to feed to the Kunchong when the dust settles.
Leave me now.
It hurts.
Their eggs should have basked in the warmth of the sun and the song of a million wings for 10 more years. The Empress will pay for her crimes.
The Empress might fall.
And the reason I'm keeping it the Paragons is that eventually we'll get to a point where we're only taking quests for maybe 1 or 2 Paragons. Like right now. So let's go ahead and talk to Malik.
Speak, Wakener.
Mantid are born with little on their mind but a lust for battle. Participation in a swarm is not only a cultural rite of passage, but it is a catalyst for our physical maturation. Only those who return from battle can develop from a swarm born into a fully aware individual citizen.
I gotta say though, I'm actually getting their voice pretty well. Not to try and pat my own back, but I actually am getting the voice pretty well, considering what the voice actors did. So in her clutch.
My slumber was interrupted by sudden dreams, unspeakable nightmares. Then I awoke. The Klaxxi have spoken to me. I have my orders. There's much to be done.
You are.
So now we have Malik the Unscathed. Now, if you remember... let's see. Malik the Unscathed, never a glancing blow laid upon you, but countless foes cut down by your halberd.
And countless more to come, Klaxxiva. It is my honor to serve in our time of need.
And serve you shall. Arm yourself at the quartermaster. The drones here are at your disposal.
Right away, Klaxxiva. This soft one should serve well. Come, Wakener.
So he'll give us additional quests, but let's go ahead and take this from Korvek.
Speak.
A cry from darkness. So you survived the Imperial clutches. You are resilient. The Klaxxi hear another paragon to the north, among the Shah-scorched roots of Kaiparivor. This one cries out in terror and agony. It cannot be saved. The Klaxxi want him put down. Go and defeat him, or do not return here. So we need to take care of the corrupted paragon at Kaiparivor. So you could also see another plot that is taking place. Maybe the Empress knew that the Klaxxi were meant to correct her mistakes, and she thus decided to get to as many of these guys as she could and corrupt them to her cause. So already that's something to be concerned about. We need to get as many of these guys back as we can. Let's go ahead and talk to Malik. So here's the thing. This is what you'll get from these guys as soon as you unlock them and you start getting quests from them. So grant me your assistance, Malik. Let's go ahead and look at what he gives us. So his is blade turning. So absorb, absorbed, blocked, dodged, missed, parried, redirected, reflected, and resisted attacks against the bearer cause blade turning. Upon reaching 10 stacks of blade turning, deal damage and stun all nearby enemies for 3 seconds. So this is actually a really great tanking buff, or anything that gets near you. I'm going to say it's more like a tanking buff than anything else. We'll probably switch back to Kilrook because that's a damage-dealing one, but let's go ahead and get the other quests. So the Dread Sworn.
The Klaxxi see far and hear much. They have shared their insight with me. The Vorthik embrace the Shah, using its power to fuel their march in this false swarm. Their warriors consume tainted amber and call themselves Dreadsworn.
Wow, it hurts.
There is no future for them. They are waste, and which needs disposing. And you will begin that process for us when you reach Kaiparivor.
Okay. And then we also have Citizens of a New Empire.
At Sheksir's command, the great Kaipari tree of Kaiparivor was twisted into a totem of horror. Like those outside of the palace, the clutch nearby is now used to corrupt our swarmborn. Recover the eggs of the Vorthik before they are tainted. We shall use them here. They will be the citizens of a new empire, free from the Shah. Fight well.
Alright, so we now have additional quests to take on. I believe that, no, they are nearby, but they're not necessarily in that immediate area. We might grab that flight path, though. So a lot of the other remote areas that you can get in the Dread Waste, you need to happen upon, and then at that point you need to do their quests. We're not necessarily going to worry about those just yet. So we do have another... Oh, did we get another Paragon that we needed to take care of? Let's see, Citizens of a New Empire... No, no, the one they gave us was the corrupted one. So we need to take care of the corrupted one called Kitar the Deathcaller. We also need to take care of some Dread Swarm, get some Dread Ember Focus, get some Vorthik Eggs. So let's go ahead and get that started. Oh, actually, before we get that started, let's get back to Kilrook and get our buff back. And I'm wondering, will he fly us there? No, he won't.
Death will be swift.
Can be active at a time, only effective in the Dread Waste. I wanted to get that back. Unfortunately, it looks like I'm stuck with Malik's enhancement. Well, wished I would have known that. Okay.
Speak, Awakener.
That sucks. So we're going to be stuck with Malik's power for now. It's not really all that helpful. I would have rather had Reaping. Just because we could do a lot more damage and nuke things down quicker. Thankfully, all we need to do is fly up here to the Thundering Run to take care of all of our Vorthik stuff. So let's go ahead and get that started with a questing break. Go! Okay, so we have all the foci, we took care of all the Dreadsworn as well as all the eggs, and here is Kitar the Deathcaller. So let's go ahead and take care of him. Fist of Fury! There we go. So we've taken care of one corrupted Paragon. Hopefully we can get to the others as quickly, even quicker than the Empress got to Kitar. But now that we have them, let's go ahead and turn these guys in. And actually, I think I may have found a loophole to let me get Reaping back, but let me double check. I want to see if I take off Iron Mantid, can I then talk to Kilrook about his enhancement? Where's Kilrook? Kilrook, where are you? Here we go. Kilrook the Windriver.
Life for the Klaxxi.
Nope, can't do it. You forsake the benefit, so we'll keep that in mind.
You seek to trade.
So, what makes you think I would sell to you? So, Concentrated Fear? Do you have the crystals? Yes, we do. What would happen, I wonder, if you ate one? What would it do to your soft pink insides?
The will of the Klaxxi.
These guys just don't like us. But, here's the other thing, too. You notice that he has this? Seeds of Fear. So, if you bring him Dread Amber Shards from here on in, he will increase your Klaxxi rep. We're not too worried right now because, again, we have... Oh, I actually... so here's how they did it. They actually made it so that it's account bound, and I increased additional bonus reputation from this faction. So I'm friendly right now, but I'm almost honored. Let's go ahead and turn in with Korik, and then we'll turn in with Malik.
You are far from home.
So what? How did you... The Deathcaller was a legendary hero. He must not have been fully awakened. You are fortunate. So let's go ahead and grab this ring, and there you go, the first Paragon. So actually, I got that wrong when I was thinking about it. I actually looked back and I went, probably either Taste of Amber or Might of the Klaxxi is going to be the one where you unlock them all. So now we have extending our coverage. The Klaxxiva hear another paragon. His cries are weak and lost in darkness. The signal must be strengthened. There is a tower in Amberglow Hollow that has been silent for many years. It must sing. The Klaxxi demand it. This time I will go with you. You will help me repair it. Take the resonating crystal and meet me in Amberglow. Okay.
So we need to use the resonating crystal. I think this is actually going to unlock another paragon. Okay, I'm already worried about doing this, but already you can see dailies unlocking for the Klaxxi. Let's go ahead and talk to Malik.
Changed.
So the Dreadsworn.
In disciplined hands, the spear is a perfect weapon. Only the weak would augment it with the sorcery, and we have no need for the weak. You are.
Okay, so citizens of a new empire.
Guard Bodivore was beautiful once, rich with amber and surrounded by prime hunting grounds. They are large. They will hatch soon. Good. We may need them. A cycle.
And there you go. Now we are honored with the Klaxxi, which I think would unlock additional ones for us. Oh, and we actually do get an additional quest. So the Xanthic Dig.
We have intercepted a message from an adjunct on Zanvis. Young laborers there have unearthed a paragon in the Amber Quarry on the backside of the island. Get there immediately and free him before the Xanthic destroy him.
So there you go. We actually get an additional paragon to unlock the second we hit honored. So thankfully, this is not going to be as hard as I thought it was going to be. Unfortunately, though, that's the time that we have for today. So when we get back on Wednesday, we will continue our questing in the Dread Wastes to befriend the Klaxxi. We'll see you guys then.